Hello, everybody. There aren't many people connected, but I think we should get started anyway. So welcome to the September 11th SIG Multicluster call. Jing, you've got the first two, well, the only two topics.
Actually, I want to discuss about the MCS API a little bit today. So, especially for whether we should breaking the V1 Alpha 1 APIs. We had some discussion in the Slack about whether I think we had such discussion a few while ago, but I'm not sure whether we make the decision whether we should do or not. Because my concern is this is still V1 Alpha 1 API, and this will be the last chance for us to make the API right. But I also understand that because the V1 Alpha 1 API has been there for a while, probably it's not easier to break something people already implemented. But I still feel that we should make a decision whether we should break it now or just move it, just keep it, move it to the V1 beta 1. So I would like to hear other people's opinions on this API changes.
Yeah, thanks. The conversation on Slack didn't really reach a conclusion. And I was hoping maybe we'd get folks from Karmada in the call, but I don't think there are, because that's the feedback we currently like. But if anybody else in the call has opinions on this topic, so just to remind people, this is about clarifying what is spec and what is status in service imports. And effectively, service import, the object itself doesn't really have a spec because it doesn't have any desired state. The desired state comes from service and service export. And so one field in particular, which is confusing, is having IPs in the spec because it's not a spec. And so we currently have three options, really. The first one, which was the initial idea in pull request number 106, was to move everything to root. So drop spec, drop status, just have all the fields in root because, and so that sort of makes sense because the service import object itself is really just a status object. So sort of like endpoint slices. The second option is to only move the IPs to status to clarify, so still keep spec and status and clarify that IPs are status only. And the arguments for that are that it minimizes the number of changes. And it means that any tooling that sort of expects to find spec or status in Kubernetes objects would still work. And in particular, that would include any tooling that expects to find conditions inside status, because we've been working also in parallel on improving the conditions in service exports and service imports. And the third option is just to do nothing, which, well, it would be okay empirically because we have a number of implementations of MCS that work with service imports as they are. So it wouldn't be the worst outcome in the world, but I don't think it would be great either. Yeah, so that's the situation currently. So any opinions in the call? Okay, that's fine. But if anybody is in touch with people from Karmada, it would be great if you could ping them and ask them to provide feedback on 106. And then the next topic was Arthur's document on MCS cluster selection on traffic distribution.
Yeah, because there was another proposal about to support the traffic distribution similar to the single cluster. I think the overall the idea, so I've already looked at it. So I hope other people can take another look. I think the main problem is about the API design, at least. So we yeah, like the MCS, we need to make the API correct. It's better in the V1 Alpha 1. So I also have I have some disagreement from author on some API details. So that's why I would like to call it out to see whether people have other opinions about the API itself. Also, there was another question about whether the gateway have the external, I forgot the exactly external traffic or not. So probably people can take another look to see where they have any data points about that question. So that basically there are two questions in this doc.
Right. Yeah, you can see them here, I think. Yeah. So that's so the external traffic on our gateway API. So that's the. Are you referring to traffic that comes into the gateway and then gets routed back out of the cluster to some external resource? That's not necessarily even a Kubernetes thing, right?
Yeah. I mean, the gateway itself, it could be out of the cluster.
Oh, the gateway itself could be out of the cluster, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Like a traditional load balancer. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because there's also a separate discussion going on around having a gateway API that can give access, represent and give access to external resources, not just resources that are in the local cluster or in a cluster set. But this is something different. Okay. All right. Yeah. So far, there hasn't really been much interaction on this document. But
I think people probably haven't taken a look on this proposal. So that's why I would like to call it out to see.
Yeah. Well, thanks for that.
Yeah, for the first topic, probably I can reach out to Kamada people to see whether they have some opinions on the API changes or not about their option.
Yeah, that would be good. Thanks. Okay, and that's the end of the topics. And I don't have anything else to bring up either as a topic or as part of the scrub. So if nobody else has anything they want to discuss, I suggest we end the call early. So wish you all a pleasant day and see you next time. Thanks for joining.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.